While the Democrat Party remains in shambles after Donald Trump's total victory, and trust in the mainstream media is at an all-time low, some of them have drank so much of their Kool-Aid, they're in denial about the American people just finally finding them out, that they've come up with even more excuses why this is the case. Here's little Brian Stelter weighing in, no pun intended, on the situation with perhaps the most ridiculous take yet.
I want to recognize for all the flaws of the mainstream media, and we have a lot of them, it's not just the media's fault that trust has been declining for decades. It's also decades of attacks by politicians.
That is the main issue, is that, it could be that the Washington Post is endorsing candidates, or it could be that there are millions of voters who believe lying politicians who tell them lies, knowing that they are. That could be the problem, too.
No, lady, the lies are coming from you. Every person with an IQ over 80 in America knows it. The only people at this point who actually still believe anything that comes out of the mouths of these people are complete morons. Stay tuned, because there's plenty more to come in this video, but just a heads up, Saturday is the final day to order Trump Claus the custom knit sweater in order to get it in time for Christmas. This is different from the Trump Claus sweatshirt, which is still available, and the t-shirt. Those are printed designs, like any ordinary screen printing or direct-to-garment printing. But the Trump Claus sweater is a special custom order knit garment. And so the threads or the yarn is different colors, and it's woven right into the sweater itself. Absolutely fantastic. Available in red, green, and black. Get your orders in now because, like I said, Saturday is the final day. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out. And add the London Guardian to the growing list of liberal lunatics who have announced that they're no longer going to be posting on Twitter or X because they're upset that the Democrat machine didn't have control of the platform anymore this time around, like they did in 2020 when they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story. And instead, it was a fairly free and open platform which allowed people to openly mock Kamala Harris and debunk the Democrats' continuous lies. If you missed it, Joy Reid, the angry black woman over on MSNBC, announced that she's quitting it. And Don Lemon, former clown news host turned wannabe YouTuber, and the feminists on TikTok think that this is finally going to be the end for Elon.
Watching Twitter's downfall today, as everyone...
Notice the nose ring again.
One is going over to Blue Sky. Has to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. You f*** around, you find out, I guess.
Yes, a couple of celebrities left Twitter to join Blue Sky, which is a supposedly planned, decentralized platform that was started by Jack Dorsey, but they've been censoring a lot of conservatives who went over there just to kind of test the waters, test the terms of service. And I don't know why everybody's going over to Blue Sky. Apparently they forgot about Threads. Remember Threads? Last year, Mark Zuckerberg launched his clone of Twitter to try to get the users who were upset about Elon to go over there. Well, it seems like even the liberals forgot about that. So now they're flocking to Blue Sky, where nobody is. But thank God it's long overdue. Just keep leaving us alone. Keep flooding over to your own safe space, liberals. We couldn't be happier for you. And while some in the liberal media and the Democrat Party are realizing that wokeness got way out of control, and that's one of the core reasons why so many former Democrats joined the Trump train and are now Republicans, others, however, are planning to double down on the wokeness. They don't think that the Democrat Party is woke enough.
If you thought we were woke before, you done went and woke the beast.
Oh, no.
Welcome to Woke 2.0.
Yes!
All my woke warriors, give me a blue heart and share. Let's spread the love.
Okay, the blue heart, because the red heart now, if you missed my previous video, on TikTok, they think that the red heart reminds them of MAGA because red is the Republican color. And no, I'm not joking. But it's not just the lesbians and feminists over on TikTok who think that this is going to be a winning strategy going forward. It seems that some over in the brand name news networks are also thinking maybe they should just keep going.
There's obviously a lot of soul searching right now going on within the Democratic Party, and that's a good thing.
It's hilarious. Keep posting your meltdowns.
But what I worry about is that in the course of all that soul searching, some Democrats might reach the wrong sweeping conclusions.
That wokeness is poisoning our culture and your party?
And there are a lot of issues that fall into that bucket. But one in particular that stuck out to me is transgender rights. Republicans spent hundreds of millions of dollars on anti-trans ads this election cycle, including one that showed Vice President Harris talking about government funding for gender-reaffirming care for prisoners and detainees.
For illegal alien detainees. Let's get it straight here. So not even American citizens. The Democrat Party platform was to use our tax dollars to fund those surgeries for illegal alien criminals.
Another one of the lines that ran over and over again in those ads and throughout right-wing media is this idea that America is faced with a crisis of boys playing in girls' sports.
And using their locker rooms and who knows how many hundreds of thousands of children being confused about their gender. It's absolutely a crisis.
Now, these ads created this perception that the issues of trans kids playing sports was dominating schools across the country, which is completely false.
Hey, they're not in every school. They're not playing in every sport. So it's no big deal. The Republicans are just over concerned about this.
Some people got pulled into that argument.
Oh, they got confused. They got lied to by people understanding what it is that's going on with our country and rejecting your ideas. Here's John Oliver, who obviously got the memo from his Operation Mockingbird handlers, repeating the same talking points.
Ads on that one issue. And it was frustrating to see the Harris campaign fail to formulate a response, especially because it's pretty easy to do. Watch, I'll do it for you right now. As we've discussed before, there are vanishingly few trans girls competing in high schools anywhere. Even if there were more, trans kids, like all kids, vary in athletic ability, and there is no evidence they pose any threat to safety or fairness. It is very weird.
No evidence at all. Notice how angry he is about this. He's very upset that people rejected this.
Weird for you to be so focused on this subject. And finally, if you genuinely...
Oh, we're the weirdos now if we're just opposed to the Democrats' weirdness.
Really want to address the biggest concern for most girls who play high school sports, you'd be less worried about this and more about the creepy assistant volleyball coach who keeps liking their posts on Instagram.
That, sir, is something that any normal person could agree is creepy, and one of the many reasons why anybody under the age of 18 really shouldn't be allowed to post on social media. Bill Maher, on the other hand, whose Trump derangement syndrome has gone into remission, is once again trying to talk some sense into his fellow Democrats, but looks like it's falling on deaf ears.
Okay, and finally, new rule. Someone must tell the usual suspects on the far left that the saying is, when you're in a hole, stop digging, not keep digging. Talk about doubling down on what got you f***ed in the first place. Last week, Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton said, I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a formerly male athlete. But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that. Yes, there's the problem in a nutshell. Because Congressman Moulton sounds reasonable to me, but his campaign manager immediately resigned in protest. Let me make this as plain as I can to the smart people. The campaign manager who resigned, yeah, let that person go. Marginalize that guy.
Now compare that to the average TikToker like this woman who thinks that she's come up with the solution to stop Donald Trump once and for all.
So here's what we're going to do, guys. On January 20th, we are going to boycott the inauguration. Now, what's something that every narcissist loves? Attention. So what are we not going to give you-know-who? That's right. So we're going to boycott it. We're going to ignore him. We're going to ignore it. We're going to ignore everything about inauguration and see how he feels.
Oh, no, you're not going to watch the inauguration in the middle of a weekday afternoon when most Americans are at work. All right, I can't resist. We got to take a look at just 1 or 2 more feminist meltdowns on TikTok, as this meme perfectly illustrates their disconnection from reality. Should I film my mental breakdown and post it online? Well, yes. Thank you.
I know that this is like bad to say. I know it's bad, but I think one of the lamest things you can do as a woman is have a husband. I think it's really lame whenever I'm talking to somebody who I think is like somewhat cool and suddenly they're like, oh, my husband. I'm instantly like, oh, you're what? Gross.
We hear endlessly about misogyny from the left, which is almost always just a hallucination and imaginary fiction in their minds. But Nobody ever talks about misandry, which is actually a word. It is the dislike or contempt or ingrained prejudice against men. It is the exact opposite of misogyny. But when was the first time? When have you ever heard anybody in the mainstream media talk about misandry? Very common amongst the feminists and especially with the lesbians, like this woman who, as usual, has a nose ring.
Anybody who is on the fence about becoming a lesbian, now is your chance! Like, give it a shot. Let's give these men up. Like, I'm telling you, this arena on the other side. Like, come on.
But I thought the rainbow people don't recruit. I thought that they just wanted to be left alone. I thought that they said that it was nobody's business what they do in the privacy of their bedroom. And over the weekend, Donald Trump made another appearance to a UFC event where he was welcomed by a standing ovation throughout the entire stadium, flanked by Dana White, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, and Elon Musk, which, of course, made the liberal media upset.
Really looks like ancient Rome here. This is sort of the conquering Republican Caesar who's going into the Colosseum, and everyone's cheering, and he's got his political gladiators with him. That appearance isn't just about him enjoying the applause. He's sending a message to the Senate.
For sure.
Like,
yeah.
Not only are you entertained, but these are my people, and are you willing to fight? Because here's who I have.
Yeah, we got UFC fighters on our side, like John Jones, who celebrated his victory by doing Donald Trump's famous YMCA dance, and then gave him the championship belt. The Democrats have people like this on their side.
Hi, I'm Admiral Rachel Levine, and we're here talking about...
Okay, I think we've heard enough already. And again, be sure to get your orders in by Saturday for Trump Claus, the special custom order knit sweater. Different than the Trump Claus printed sweatshirt and t-shirt. Those will still be available. But in order to get the special edition Trump Claus knit sweater with the design woven directly into the sweater itself, got to get those orders in by Saturday. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.